Hi guys, it's Tamara coming back at you with another video. I figured that I would talk to you a little bit before I go into my next session about compassion fatigue. I've gotten a lot of emails and a lot of text messages and voicemails about the topic of compassion fatigue. And one of the reasons why is because I'm a certified trauma therapist. I'm nationally certified as a trauma therapist. I have multiple certifications as a trauma therapist. And one of the first certifications that I have is a certification on compassion fatigue. Back in 2011, I took my first certification seminar on compassion fatigue. And I didn't understand what it actually was in comparison to burnout. I thought they were the same thing. And it turns out that no, they're not. Unfortunately, the words compassion fatigue and burnout are used interchangeably, but they actually mean different things. Burnout, and I'll define this for you up in the corner here. But burnout is basically, the emotional and psychological dread of having to face another day in your position. You feel kind of isolated, withdrawn, maybe even depressed and agitated. You might even be getting frequent colds. You're just tired and you don't want anything to do with the very thing that has burned you out. So I'm going to put the definition right over here in the corner for you, but I'm also going to put the definition of compassion fatigue right over here as well, because they mean different things. I thought that this subject was pretty interesting, and that's one of the reasons why I pursued a certification. I remember as far back as my graduation year in graduate school, studying counseling psychology, and one of the things I did was I pushed myself. I pushed myself to graduate college within 3 years, and then my 4th and 5th year, I went to grad school. And I actually had my undergraduate graduation on a Sunday and went to back to school, graduate school on a Monday. And excuse me, and I was just so tired, and I didn't realize that I was burning myself out. I was going to school, working, and doing an internship. And thank God for my mom. She's such a huge support and my mentor. But I still burnt out, and I went there's levels of your internship when you're in school. So I went to internship 2, which is a little higher and a little more advanced. And what I did there is I went to a psychiatric hospital for adolescents and a residential treatment facility. I'll put the definition over here for you of what a residential treatment facility is. But I absolutely burned out after I graduated from grad school, and I just couldn't go any further. I started getting frequent colds. I started getting the flu. I felt like I had pancreatitis. My chest would hurt all the time. I was diagnosed with costochondritis, which is chest wall pain. I was just overwhelmed. I was tired. Every day was a battle, just trying to get out of bed and just trying to find motivation to move on. And I did not realize that I was burning out. I was so burnt out that my voice was weak. Different ones would tell me, like, your voice is shaking, or, you're just really tired looking. I didn't realize that I was burning out. So burnout can sneak up on you in such a way that you don't even know it's there. It can also sneak up on you in such a way that it manifests itself as a physical condition. It manifests itself as a cold, as the flu, as an emotional breakdown for some people. So it's very important to be aware of your emotions, your psychological well-being, as well as your environment. You have to put yourself in the middle of an environment that is healthy and balanced and structured. You don't want to be in an environment that's going to perpetuate the compassion fatigue and the burnout. And let me just define briefly what compassion fatigue is. Compassion fatigue is basically the result of caring for other people so much that you begin to take on their stress, you begin to take on their trauma. One of the fields that really has a lot of compassion fatigue is the medical profession. I'm trying to think of the other term, crisis workers, first responders, that's what I'm thinking of, and psychiatrists and those who are in the field of counseling. These are the fields that includes compassion fatigue, because we're constantly helping other people, and yet we don't care for ourselves. We absolutely ignore self-care. I will say, though, that I strongly believe compassion fatigue happens among caregivers and parents and divorcees and individuals who are trying to motivate and support support their loved ones with little resources. Compassion fatigue can also occur in individuals who are in the Army or in the Navy and they have to witness trauma. Compassion fatigue can also happen in situations where there's a single mother trying to raise her boys or her daughters in a very bad neighborhood and trying to care for everybody but herself. So compassion fatigue and burnout, again, they're used interchangeably, but they mean different things. Compassion fatigue is insidious. It sneaks up on you as well. The best way to deal with compassion fatigue is to be aware of what's going on inside of your body. You want to be aware of what's going on inside of your mind. The best way to do this is to engage in mindfulness. And we're going to talk about this over a few videos. So I'm going to give you a few tips. But for this video, what I want to encourage you to do is engage in mindfulness over the next week until you get the next video. Engage in not compassion fatigue. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Engage in mindfulness is what I'm trying to say. What you want to do is 3 things. 1, I want you to get into a calm atmosphere. I want you to either lay down on your back or on your stomach, close your eyes, and intentionally draw your attention to yourself, right? Ask yourself while your eyes are closed and while you're resting or laying down, what is going on in my body? Is my heart racing, right? Am I feeling tired? Are my thoughts bouncing from one thing to the next? Am I positive today? Am I negative? Am I depressed? Am I stressed? Okay? Draw your attention to yourself and focus on yourself for that moment. The other thing is mindful eating. And what that means is you're going to get a food, whether that's a fruit, a vegetable, a cracker, a chip, whatever it is, a piece of meat. Chew and be mindful of how you're chewing, right? Don't inhale your food. You want to just one step at a time, be mindful of what you're eating, be mindful of the texture of the food, be mindful of the smell of the food, right? Be mindful of how fast you're chewing, how slow you're chewing. It's going to be a little agitating at first, but you'll understand why we're doing this, because the whole idea is to get you to zone into that particular moment. You don't want to leave mentally while you're eating. You don't want to leave mentally while you're resting on your back or on your stomach. You want to be mindful of what's happening in the moment. Okay. The third thing is I want you to take a walk, but take a walk somewhere where you can focus just on you, where you can focus on the sound of the leaves or the grass or whatever you're walking on, where you can focus on how your body is processing that environment, right? Is it cold to me? Is it warm to me? Is it nice? How's my mood? How's my emotions? Okay. So mindfulness is the whole idea that you draw your attention to you, or what you're focusing on at the moment, okay? You can even use mindfulness when you're playing with one of your children, right? Be mindful of them. Be mindful of your reaction to them. Don't allow your mind to wander. You want to focus on your child in that moment and what you guys are doing together. The whole idea, once again, mindfulness, the whole idea of mindfulness is to get you to zone into the present moment and be aware of all of your bodily sensations, all of your thoughts, all of your emotions, what's going on in the present moment with me. All right, guys. So thanks so much for visiting me today. I encourage you to go to my website, anchoredinKnowledge.com, if you want to connect with me. Please give this video a thumbs up. What it does is it pushes the video to the top of the search results, which makes this video available to other people who may benefit. So if it was good for you, if you liked it, if it was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It's going to let other people know that this video is out there and that they can benefit from it too. I encourage you to hit the subscribe button. I post videos Mondays and Fridays every single week. So we're going to talk about a variety of things over the next few weeks. We're going to continue to talk about compassion fatigue and burnout because I think it's important. A very awesome audience member, one of my wonderful friends online, suggested the topic of compassion fatigue and burnout. So that's why we're doing this. It's important. All of my information is going to be at the end of the video. But in the meantime, guys, I wish you well, and I'll see you very, very soon. Take good care and engage in self-care. Bye.